Hey guys, welcome back to Just a Geek in the Garage. Today we're going to be looking at Knipex versus Harbor Freight. Is Knipex worth about twice the price as what you can get over at Harbor Freight? So let's take a quick look at these. Some of these, as you can see, I have the Harbor Freight version and the Knipex version, but sometimes the sizes, as you can see here and here, are a little bit different. Sometimes they're the same exact ones. One thing about Harbor Freight is that they don't have every single size that Knipex has, but it's at least a decent comparison that we can look at here between these six tools. So basically, three different sets of pliers by a couple of different manufacturers. So Knipex is kind of the gold standard when it comes to pliers, especially these Alligators, the water pump style pliers, and also these twin grip that people love with the opening at the front, so you can get rusted off or rounded off fasteners. Great little tools. I've never run into a Knipex tool that I haven't liked. This is only a small portion of my Knipex, but these are the only ones that compare directly to a Harbor Freight equivalent that I'm aware of, at least. So starting off, why don't we go with the Knipex's most popular plier, which is the Alligator pliers. Great pliers. The only thing I don't like about Knipex, to be honest with you, is their dipped handle. I feel like it leaves a little bit to be desired, while their comfort grip, I feel, is almost a bit much. One area where I feel that Harbor Freight does do a little bit of a better job, especially on their Icon line, is the grips, because they're more similar to the Snap-on grips. Not identical, but they have enough cushion. It doesn't feel like there's almost bare metal underneath. But again, the Knipex, do a very good job. I've never had any of the grips wear out on me, but again, it would just be nice to have maybe a little bit thicker than this, almost something in between the comfort grip and these guys. But this one, Icon does not make a version, at least not yet, but Doyle has made a version for a while, and while they're not the same exact size, they're very similar in performance. The Knipex is probably roughly about twice the price as the Doyle, but honestly, their performance to me, for what I've needed them for, they both work very well. So, but this is also one of those tools, or unlike a video I made a little bit earlier, which is Snap-on versus Icon, since you're paying maybe twice the price, sometimes even less than twice the price, maybe 1.5 times, it might be worth it to go Knipex just to kind of get the original. But especially if you're a home gamer and you're not a professional, something like a Doyle like this could work very well for you. Especially as we know, Harbor Freight's warranty is excellent. Something happens, you walk in, and then you walk out with a brand new one. Versus Knipex, I've never had to warranty a Knipex, but my guess is I'd have to contact them, either send it in or send them a picture or what have you, and then they'd mail it out. So it definitely wouldn't be something where you're getting it replaced the same day, unless you happen to be a professional and you bought this on one of the trucks, because I do know that pretty much all the trucks either sell Knipex directly or rebrands of Knipex. So that's the water pump pliers. Honestly, it's kind of going to be the same for the twin grip. So we have the Icon right here, and then the Knipex right here. They look a little bit different. I mean, the button obviously is much bigger here versus here, but at the end of the day, they function pretty much the same way. Very similar jaw design. Both have that opening at the front for rusted off or rounded fasteners, and both have the ability to adjust. Although I think the Knipex has more micro adjustments versus the Icon, I believe, is just one or two different adjustments. But either way, they typically work roughly the same. And again, you're looking at about close to twice the price with something like this. But man, I really do like these. Like, just feeling them right here, with gloves, without gloves, these types of grips just feel much better to me than something like this. Last up, we have the pliers wrench. This one, obviously, there's a significant size difference. Icon only sells the large one, but honestly, for something that's Harbor Freight, I know people talk a lot of bad things about Harbor Freight. Their Icon line, almost nothing has disappointed me. I mean, silky smooth, works very well. Even the It has the markings on here to show you the different sizes of the fasteners, and it's right on point. You know, I have a 17 millimeter bolt that I use a lot for testing things, and this thing is right on it. It's tight. There's very little play. Obviously, the same can be said here as well. One thing is, I feel that looking at throughout the line is that the Knipex, I believe, uses a higher quality metal, and because of that, tends to be a little bit thinner, so you can get into more places. So definitely one reason to go Knipex versus Icon or Doyle. But honestly, it just kind of depends on your budget. If you're willing to spend, 2 times the price for Knipex, or 1.5, every one of these pliers is probably, the Knipex is probably in the range of about $30 to $40. So I'm not going to break the bank versus maybe around, 20. Although this one is one of the Icon's more expensive ones, I believe around $40. But this is a great one to have, especially if you don't know what size fastener you're going to work on, and you also don't want to leave any marks on the fastener because it has a perfectly smooth jaw, whereas a lot of these other ones have aggressive teeth that are going to mark any fastener that you use. So honestly, I would either one would work great for me. I only have both, again, because I like tools. I like to compare. I like to give you guys information to make decisions on. But, again, comfort-wise, Icon 100%. Function-wise, they both work just as well. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you soon.